These things are like businesses that make money. Most people understand what those type of business models are. These two are not the same. I like to call these two can touch versus non-touchable. And what I'm referring to is tangible assets versus non-tangible assets. Tangible assets are like your property, your equipment, your iPhone. These things are like businesses that make money. Most people understand what those type of businesses models are. Then you have the intangible. These are something you can't really touch. For instance, Goodwill, patents, intellectual property. These are like other stuff that you can't really touch. It's more conceptual by understanding them. To give you an example, was a non-touch or intangible asset would be, as a business model would be, look at Canva. You can go on your software, you can use it, but you can't really touch it. If you try to touch it, you're touching your laptop. Or Netflix. Netflix is another version of a SaaS business, which is also intangible. You can't really touch it. You can touch the remote, you can touch the TV, but you can't really touch it. You're using it as a service. In Salesforce, people that are in the marketing careers, they're using a tool that you can't really touch, but you're using as a service. These are like your intangible assets. To give you an example, which is probably the most easiest example for tangible assets, is iPhone. They're a business. You can see the phone, you can touch the phone, it's your phone, that's tangible. Home Depot, you go there, you can touch the wood, you can touch the lights. Those are all the things that you can touch. These are like your tangible assets. These tangible and intangible assets make money. However, there are different approaches to evaluating them. And that may be a little complex. For instance, if you have an intellectual property that you can't get in your secrets to, but it's in your software company, that's pretty much going to be, and it's your main revenue generation, there's going to be another way to evaluate that. But usually you're going to use certain standard approaches. The same thing may go for a tangible business. Now, the caveat is where we're going to see the difference, or maybe not difference, but similarities. Although you may have a tangible asset, there is some form of intangible within it. For instance, a customer list is intangible. The way someone feels about your product, which is intangible, they'll be evaluated differently depending on what's going on or like the anticipation in their future growth rate. But those are intangible stuff that we usually factor in tangible businesses. For instance, if we're trying to evaluate Apple, the way people value Apple compared to other phones, they might feel, oh, everyone wants to feel cool, so therefore they're going to get an Apple. Those things matter when it comes to intangible for a tangible business. Likewise, if you have Canva or Netflix, although you may not be able to touch Netflix, Netflix houses a lot of the information on servers. A lot of times they may own those servers, because services are like, you can actually go to the data center, put your finger on it and touch it. Now, you may not know where it is, but it definitely exists somewhere in the cloud. And that also has to get valued in a different way as well. But in the grand scheme of things, one is more intangible, which is you cannot touch it, non-touchable, or you have your tangible business, which you can touch, and it is touchable. And each of them may have a little piece of one of them in each and other, which is kind of like two different concepts, but one can be another and the other one can be another. It's just the scale of it and how we define it.